If you're here, you probably know you need strong, powerful messaging for your business to stand out online. But how to actually get this? That's the million-dollar question. And I have an answer for you. It's exactly why I've created a special free masterclass where you can find out how to use the power in your astrology chart to give you the clarity and uniqueness you've been searching for. Go to sophiapalace.com and find the Learn tab to access this masterclass and amp up your message right now. Welcome to the Cosmic Business Breakthrough Podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Palace, and this podcast is for soulful entrepreneurs who want to harness the cosmic power of astrology to elevate their message, unlock flow, and attract their best clients ever. Join me every week and get excited to discover how you can use the energy of the cosmos to get the business breakthrough you've been waiting for. Welcome back to another episode of Cosmic Business Breakthrough. Over the next few weeks, we're going to do something a little different. I am going to be running what I think of as a bit of a mini-series, a podcast mini-series called Business by the Elements, where I'm going to take you through each element. So that's fire, air, earth, and water. And what patterns and energies are playing out in your business based on that element. So astrology is based on energy, and specific energies and patterns within us, within our birth charts, are playing out throughout our lives and in our businesses. And those energy types are known as the elements. Now, I've done a whole other podcast episode on the modalities, and I talk about the rising sign modality and how that might be showing up in your business. But this is specifically about the elements so that you can be aware of really what is driving you. This is just one part of your chart, but it is a really critical part to understand. This is like your core energy, your core way of being in business comes down to the elemental signature that you have. So some people will have a very strong earth signature in their chart, or a very strong air, a very strong fire, or a very strong water. Some people will have a very balanced signature. They will have a really nice balance spread across the four elements. But what I want you to consider when you're listening to this podcast series is, what is your sun, rising, or moon element? And I'm going to go through the zodiac signs and the elements in a moment. Consider what is your sun, rising, or moon element. Consider whether there are a couple of those that have the same element. So for instance, you might have a sun and a rising sign in the element of air, and that means that you probably have a much stronger air element or air energy. Consider whether you have a bit of all of them and you're very balanced across the board. If you know your birth chart, you might know the balance and how to tell whether you have a preference in one of the elements or a predominance in one of the elements. But I would encourage you to listen to all four of these episodes, because it's likely that all of these elements are playing out in your business. But the real guts of it is going to be where your most predominant energy lies. So for fire, if you have a strong fire energy, that means you have either an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius sun, moon, or rising. These are the go-getting, the charismatic changemakers, which I'm going to get into today because today's episode is all about fire. But for you to know, for the air element, it's the zodiac signs of Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. These are the innovative thought leaders. For earth, it's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. These are the driven, focused implementers. For water, it's Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And these people are the emotionally connected to their end game. That is the core of the water essence. But we're going to dive into all 4 of these elements and how they are playing out in your business or as an entrepreneur, how this will show up for you as an entrepreneur. Okay, so let's get going and talk about the fire signs, the fire element. This is for you if you are an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising. And if you have a lot of fire sign energy in your chart, maybe you have a stellium. Maybe, for instance, you have a whole bunch of planets in one sign and it happens to be a fire sign, one of those signs. So maybe you have Mars, Venus, and Saturn and Jupiter all in Leo, for instance. Then this is a really good one for you to listen to because you're going to have a very fire-heavy chart, right? And fire signs want to ignite things. They have a whole lot of enthusiasm and passion for life, and this comes across in their work. They are creative, spontaneous, they're vital, and they're inspiring to others. But fire energy can also burn out of control. Okay, so it's important to be aware of this kind of combustibility of fire energy. It can be a little too direct. It can be a little too blunt. It can be a little too spontaneous for maybe the rest of the team. They can also be a little impatient because they like to get things going. They are fire starters. They like to have momentum. They like to keep moving, all of that stuff. So if you've got a lot of fire energy in your chart, you might get inspired ideas and feel like you need to express them right away. You need to create something with them right away, which can be awesome if you're an entrepreneur. It is a very strong entrepreneurial energy, right? But it can frustrate the people on your team who might have the more earth or water element more predominant in their chart, and they may like a slower approach. So it's a good idea to have that balance in your team, which we're going to get to in a minute. It's important to know, though, if you have this fire energy, that you're going to approach things you like with vigor, with enthusiasm, right? You're going to want to dive right in there. But if something doesn't interest you, you really can't fake it. You know, that blunt directness is going to take over, right? So let's talk about what this means in your business and your marketing activities. Your launch style, if you have a strong fire energy, a strong fire element, during a launch, you might need things to be quite high energy. So that means you might want to be a little bit more spontaneous. You might be open to hopping on a few extra live streams. You might be ready to run a competition, like at the spur of the moment. You may want to do those impromptu testimonial interviews, stuff like that. You've got more of this risk-taking profile than some of the other elements. For instance, the earth and water signs who like to take that more methodical, possibly slower approach to a launch. A fire sign energy is going to want to create something really fun and exciting and spontaneous. Again, there's that word. So embrace that in your launch. Think about how you can build that spontaneity in, how you can build that passion, that enthusiasm into your launch. Really show that side of yourself because that is one of your key gifts. So your marketing style in general is going to have this charisma to it. You're going to want to express yourself strongly as a fire sign energy. For instance, someone, who has an Aries sun or an Aries and an Aries rising is going to be quite strong in the way they express themselves because they're so enthusiastic and potentially a little bit competitive, right? They are unstoppable when it comes to getting things into motion because they're ruled by Mars, because of that fire starter energy. They're very ambitious. They're very energetic. Aries sun, Aries rising people have that, but also Aries moon people have that internal, that emotional ability to really inspire and lead. And so that's really important to know about that fire energy. Leo people, Leo sun sign, Leo rising sign people are going to have that real presence, that real stage presence. So this is something that you cannot ignore in your business. This is a key gift that you have, right? You want to be out there. You want to use that charisma and magnetism, that natural magnetism that you have as a fire sign energy, potentially as a Leo energy. And, there's a sense of showmanship about Leo energy in particular, but all fire signs have this. Particularly Leo and Sagittarius has this sense of showmanship, this ability to be on stage and be a presence that people want to pay attention to. All fire signs have that go-getter attitude too. They all have that kind of, let's get this done, let's make this change, and let's lead the way. Those things are all very fire element energy. And it's important for you to know that if you've got that energy, how you want to work with others in your team is that you need people who are going to support that ability for you to get things going, because that, just like lighting a match, the fire starts, but it can't always sustain itself, right? You need to have people around you who can sustain that fire, who can keep it burning for you, who can keep it going. So the people that I would recommend you look out for in terms of your team would be earth sign element people, earth sign energy people, because they have that sustainability that you're looking for. They will take those grand ideas and that inspiring stuff and ground it down into something tangible for you. Now, earth does put out fire as well in some ways. So you've got to be careful about not putting too much earth on the fire. The same with water energy. Water and fire is a little trickier, right? It can be steamy. That's great. Maybe not so great for your business or your work. Maybe that's more of a personal thing. But earth and fire signs can work really well together, because the fire signs will go and have the inspired ideas and be the charismatic leader, and the earth sign will support them to make that all come to fruition, make all of those dreams and help them really embody that leadership and ground it down into something real, right? Air sign people or air sign energy can also be quite supportive of fire. It can really literally fan the flames, right? So this can go both ways. This can really activate the fire energy people, and it can also turn it into something a little out of control, right? Raging out of control. That's not what we want. We want something that is really inspiring and gets started, and we want that flame to burn consistently. So air sign people are great for fire people, but you don't want too much air or you'll get a raging bushfire. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind when you're looking for people to work with on your team. What is the balance of their energy? Are they very air-based? Are they very earth-based? Are they very water-based? How is that going to vibe? How is that going to either improve or deplete that fire sign energy, right? Okay, so that is the fire signs in a nutshell. If you want to work with your astrology chart to uncover your unique business message, you want to dive into this a little further and understand more about how you can work with your astrology chart and your specific zodiac signs, I have a workshop for you. It is currently free. It is called the Cosmic Business Messaging Masterclass, where I walk you through how to unpack your astrology chart and extract your unique message from it. So you'll get a video training with downloadable slides and a workbook to clearly explain how you can apply this in your business right now. So head to my website, find the Learn tab, and you'll find that workshop right there, that free workshop. It is currently free. It may not be free forever. So I encourage you to grab it while it's hot. The link will also be in the show notes for that. Alternatively, book a session with me, book a one-on-one Cosmic Business Breakthrough session. This is where we're going to really be able to extract your cosmic goodness and figure out what's going on in terms of your energy and how that might be best applied in your business, in your marketing, and in your message. All right, have an awesome day. I will see you next week where we'll talk about the air element. Thanks for joining me on the Cosmic Business Breakthrough. If you'd like to learn more about what I do, head to sophiapalace.com or follow me at Sophia Palace over on Instagram. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I'd love for you to take a moment and review the show if you found it helpful and share it with a few friends. Thanks again, and I'll speak to you next time.